Hi guys, so as Richard said, my name is Josh Levine. I am the CEO and founder of Rushing Rush, along with my CTO and co-founder, Alex Swerdlow. So I'm gonna start by telling you all a little story about Josh and Richard. Josh is a nerdy guy who just got accepted to MIT, and he is looking for the perfect fraternity. Then we have Richard, who is known to many as a super nerd. I mean, come on, guys, look at him. And he is the president of his fraternity, AE Pi. Now, unlike most fraternities, AE Pi does not advertise their great parties. They advertise that they have the highest GPA of any living group at MIT. And also, they get some really good advertisement from cool kids like me. So you might be wondering, how are these two people with absolutely no social skills to speak of supposed to come together in one frenzied week to make a bond for 4 years in their fraternity? The truth is, they can't. At least not without Rushing Rush. Rushing Rush connects potential pledges with fraternities and sororities before they get on campus so that the students can start school with plenty of friends and the fraternities and sororities can get first pick at the top candidates. So let me tell you a bit more about the value we provide. It starts with the students. So who here remembers their first day at a new school when they didn't have any friends? Great, it looks like a lot of you. Well, every year, millions of college students experience the same thing. So with Rushing Rush, the first day jitters will be eliminated. Next, students want to learn more about the fraternities and sororities before they join. But currently, in Rush Week, they would only have an hour or two to truly get to know the fraternity or sorority, and they can't make an uninformed decision. Next, they want an easier transition into college. So for some reason, MIT expects Josh to pick his classes, take placement tests, and find all of his friends in 1 week. That makes the transition into college very difficult. So if we take the social aspect off the table, it becomes a lot easier. Then, on the chapter side, Richard wants to spend a lot less money on recruitment. In fact, fraternities alone at MIT spend over $600,000 on recruitment every year. Next, he wants early access to potential new members. They do have some methods already, but they're a bit aggressive. They climb into those white windowless vans your mom told you never, ever, ever to go near. And they drive across the Charles River over to the dorms and knock on doors at 6 a.m., waking everyone up, having doors slammed in their faces just to get people to come to their recruitment event. Well, with Rushing Rush, that doesn't have to happen anymore. They can just talk on the app. Lastly, we collect great data for the fraternities and sororities about the potential new pledges. So Richard finally got Josh out of bed at 6 a.m. after about a half hour of trying, and they went to the cool event and had a great time. So Richard let Josh into the fraternity. But then it turned out a week later that Josh was crazy, and they didn't want him in their fraternity anymore, so they ended up kicking him out. Well, that wouldn't have happened if they had the resources provided by Rushing Rush, so they could have seen that he wasn't a good fit to begin with. So let me tell you a bit about how it works. It starts by creating a profile. We ask students questions that would typically be asked by fraternities or sororities and provide that information to them when they go on the app. Next, you get a suggested page. From here, the fraternities and sororities can click on someone that they're interested in, and these suggestions are all ordered based on their preferences. It would look very similar to a student looking for a fraternity or sorority. So they find someone they like, and they get a short description, and they have the ability to contact that person and start a conversation. For the students, if they click on a fraternity or sorority, they get this. They get a short description, the ability to contact the fraternity or sorority, and they can see cool pictures of all the fun stuff they do, like when they drink from huge kegs of milk and have tons of cookies at their parties. Because that's what they do, Mom. So let me tell you a bit about our competition. Our competitors are Greek Rush, Greek Link, Greek Dash, and BidLily. None of our competitors are social or student focused. So what I mean by student-focused is a lot of our competitors were businesses started by people who have been in Greek life or were a part of Greek life. So we are part of the student target market. So we can bring a lot more students onto our platform, which is what allows us to have some of the great social features that our competitors can't have. Next, it's widely available. Other than BidLily, none of our competitors are. They all have some sort of restriction as to who can join. So let me tell you about how we're going to get users. It starts with the early adopters. These are individual chapters at various schools that sign up for our platform. Once we've gotten a critical mass of those, around 3, we move on to councils. Councils are groups of chapters, usually around 10. And once we get a council, we get all 10 immediately. Then, once we've gotten a critical mass of councils, we'll move on to national Greek life groups. On the student side, we have early adopters again. These are individual students at various schools who sign up. Then once we get enough of those, we'll move on to high school college counselors and student ambassadors. Both of these would be there to market for our app at the high schools. However, the college counselors would be talking mostly to parents about the value of having an easy transition into college, while the ambassadors will be talking about how much fun Greek life is in college. And these ambassadors might be students who are currently at that school or who have recently graduated. So once we've gotten enough of those, we move on to the school administrators. This is how we get big school districts, like all of LAUSD. So let me go into a bit more detail about how we're going to expand. So we've already started at UCLA. We're going to get a critical mass of early adopters, get some councils until we have the whole school, and then we'll move over to USC. Then as we're getting more colleges, we'll start moving over to national Greek life groups. So let me tell you a bit about our user acquisition. So it costs 70 cents to get one user. Then to get the actual chapter, it costs $17.50. So there are approximately 25 students are recruited for each chapter, so the total acquisition cost is $37.50. And we charge them a market research validated price of $499, and then that leaves a total profit of $461.50. So let me tell you a bit about the total opportunity. There are 730 schools in the US that have a lot of Greek life. There are 12,000 chapters, which makes it a $5.5 million market. Now, it would be unreasonable to expect us to capture the entire market. However, if we do a good job of leveraging our social and network effect features, we can capture $1 or $2 million of that market. So at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is traction, and we came prepared with plenty of it. So we have 101 students signed up already. We have 43 chapters, 5 college counselors, 1 Pan-Hellenic council, and 1 national fraternity. So I have been known to get some cool investments in the past. Richard kind of spoiled it, but in the last 48 hours, I got over $500,000 in signed term sheets. So now I'll tell you a bit about the future. So by August 20th, we plan to have UCLA's IFC. Then we also want to have 10 ambassadors at various high schools by the same date. We want, on September 1st, the remaining councils at UCLA. And by September 10th, we want to have repeated that process at USC. Also, that would give us 20 ambassadors total. So then on the 20th, Rush begins. And that's when when a lot of the hard work gets started, and we will continue to market to some of the schools where Rush starts a little later in the year. So, as some of you might know, Amazon started their company selling books, but they did not become a multi-billion-dollar company just by selling books. They expanded, and they started selling other things until they became the huge company that they are today. Just like Amazon, we can't become a multi-billion-dollar company just from Greek life. So that's going to be our beachhead. We're going to spread from there. First, to college and high school admissions. We can use very similar software to accomplish this. Then, once we're there, we will already have a huge presence on campuses, so we can move into roommates. It would be like a dating app for roommates. Now, some colleges actually decide the roommates for the student, so they would be the ones, the colleges would be the ones who are using that app, or the students might, if the students are allowed to choose. Lastly, we would move on to internships and careers, helping students who are just finished with college get internships and get careers. So at this point, we will have brought them onto our network in high school through Greek life and high school admissions. We will keep them as a part of our network through college by picking their roommates, and we will take them beyond with internships and careers. So that is our company, Rushing Rush. Make sure to visit our website, rushingrush.com. You can email me, josh@rushingrush.com, and make sure to come up and talk to me afterward, and Alex